And Barbados, though small, does not confine us in terms of our space. And we in the government, for example, we have expounded on the need to grow our foreign exchange and to grow our GDP. But we can't do that if entrepreneurs are not going to position themselves to get into vital areas of growth. And I believe that one of the things that we have to do is to very quickly assimilate and identify those key growth areas that will not only make your business invaluable, unique, and in demand, but will redound to the economic benefit of Barbados. Now, the policy of the government, as you know, is set out very clearly in our Party Manifesto 2008, very much influenced by the late Prime Minister David Thompson, and sets out the vision of the government in 2008. It's also included in our 2010-2014 medium-term economic strategy. And in essence, what that vision is saying is that we are focused on creating and growing an entrepreneurial culture, an entrepreneurial class in Barbados that will take Barbados forward and that will be very vital in broadening the economic base of Barbados. The reality is that in Barbados we depend very heavily on tourism and the financial services sector as the key engines of growth. And we know that, especially given the impact of the global economic recession, that these two areas of growth are very vulnerable to external shock. We've seen it. We've seen dips in our earnings from both tourism and the international financial sector. And what we know is that an economic model that is durable and sustainable, though relying to some measure on inflows of foreign capital, cannot only be based on that. We have to have a very vibrant entrepreneurial sector which will actually assist to grow and to bring in those inflows. We have to trigger those inflows from the activity that we conduct in Barbados, rather than only rely on somebody who will say, hey, I want to invest in Barbados. And we do accord significance to foreign investment. The only thing is that we need to do more to attract foreign investment and foreign partners as well in terms of our entrepreneurial activity. So I'm told that unemployed youth in the region make up between 40 and 60%, and in Barbados just over 10% with a higher rate for females. Youth entrepreneurial development has entered a very exciting phase in our cycle. And in spite of the economic crisis, this sector, as you know, continues to grow and new players are coming on board. Stakeholders continue to surface. The government of Barbados has long recognized the important role that entrepreneurship plays in alleviating unemployment among youth, creating a culture of entrepreneurship, and helping youth to make jobs for themselves. And this is key because I know that in the Barbadian parlance, people usually refer to the role of government as very key in terms of job creation. And of course, as a politician, I usually would hear, "You find the work for me," and that is one of the big things that happen, particularly across Barbados. And I usually say, yes, the government's role is to generate employment opportunities, create the kind of economic atmosphere to allow for activity of this kind to take place. But to a large measure, our mindset of getting a job or somebody getting a job for me must change. And I think that entrepreneurs like yourself have a very vital role by how you exhibit what you do, that you can become champions of this new drive, and that you can become examples to persons who are still in that mindset as to how they can begin to dream about not only having a job, but how they can begin to create jobs by their own economic activity. In this regard, we have given high priority to entrepreneurship to diversify our economic base, as I said. young entrepreneurs are the prime beneficiaries of training and mentorship in one of the most exciting programs within my ministry, that is the Youth Entrepreneur Scheme, where we train entrepreneurs. And as I speak to you, that program is undergoing review because, as you know, I believe that entrepreneurship is so dynamic that programs that we have must undergo periodic review from time to time. And we are currently reviewing the Youth Entrepreneurial Scheme program with a view to making it more vibrant, and also with a view to ensuring that the linkages created between that program and other programs, like, for example, the Youth Entrepreneurial Business Trust, can become more meaningful and respond more rapidly to the needs of young entrepreneurs. One of the big issues we know is the whole question of access to funding, as you heard this morning. And we have to start on the path of ensuring that we can create faster and easier access to funding with less red tape. The question is, how do we achieve that? Usually the thing is to say publicly at these speeches and these sessions, to appeal to the banks in Barbados to be more nimble, more responsive to entrepreneurial activity. And to some extent we can do that. We can use moral suasion through the central bank. We can create schemes by which we can get banks to be more responsive. But again, in the area of banking, in the area of access to capital, is by itself an area of interest in terms of entrepreneurial activity. And I usually say that if it does not happen, then we have to make it happen. But within the context of the Youth Entrepreneurial Program and certainly the policy direction of the government, we will redouble our efforts to ensure that we can provide access to reasonable funding to grow entrepreneurial activity. We also will actually review our technical assistance programs and, of course, our marketing research capability. As I speak to you, one of the things we want to do is to help to showcase the services and the goods of entrepreneurs. I believe that rather than simply training entrepreneurs, we are at that point where we know that we have to literally place many of our entrepreneurs in key markets. We can't wait for you to place yourself, because you will probably spend the next 5 years trying to do it. I believe we have to literally, by intervention strategies, place you in vital markets and give you the exposure to allow you to get to that level. Perhaps leapfrog the next 5 years in terms of your own activity. The two youth entrepreneurship development organizations in Barbados continue to work very hard, both this organization and the YES program, and I certainly want to commend them for that. The focus, as I said to you, is ensuring that we can give support to not only this initiative, but we can give individual support to those who are operating at the smaller level. We will continue to support the initiatives of the BYBT, and I certainly take pleasure in congratulating all of the entrepreneurs who are here today, the panelists and the partners, as well as the business mentors who take time out to volunteer their services. Now, there are two policy initiatives which, as I speak to you, we are pursuing. And one derives from an ongoing concern which the government has relating to disengaged youth. Those young people who feel that the system has forgotten about them. We refer to them as people on the block, but it's not only people on the block who are affected, but there are many young males and females who spend most of their time at home while we are engaged in productive activity. And it is my desire and hope that we can find ways to reverse that trend. And we've started a program where the Youth Development Program of the Ministry has started a survey. What we hope to do is to target in the first phase 1,000 disengaged young people across Barbados. Because first we want to know what they want to do, what are their interests, what are their passions. And we wish then to shape programs, both at the level of training and business opportunities for those persons. This is a key area in which we will also be relying on partnership arrangements with the private sector, with the Youth Development Trust, certainly with the embassy, the United States Embassy, and certainly I want to congratulate the United States Embassy here in Barbados for hosting this event. We had a very interesting bilateral meeting with Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. I know she has a lot of passion for this, and I can tell that because of the reminders, the constant reminders that she makes in terms of the embassy here to ensure that we deliver on those undertakings that we made at that meeting. But it is crucial that we get that support, and agencies such as the United States Embassy and others who are particularly positioned to deliver on some of the areas that are necessary to propel this sector forward. We always have to say thanks, because without that, it means that the pace of growth is even slower. So I certainly want to say thanks to the United States Embassy, and I hope that you will convey to Senator Clinton, Hillary Clinton, certainly the graciousness and the commendation of the government of Barbados for sticking to her word. And we look forward to many more things, because I know that in the area of funding, that this is a key area that we would want to explore to ensure that we can provide more meaningful assistance to our entrepreneurs. So that vision I certainly want to congratulate. To our many partners who work with the Barbados Youth Business Trust, I want to say congratulations. And again, to the board, the executive director, and staff and partners, congratulations, and keep this extraordinary work which you have started and which we're sharing. I want you to keep it going. Thank you, and I wish you a successful session.